The object filled the screen like a floating mountain, dark, angular, and covered in strange markings that pulsed faintly with blue light. It did not resemble any ship the Zilani had ever seen. It wasn't elegant or graceful like the vessels, nor luminous and smooth like the fleets of Andromeda's Prime. This ship looked industrial, heavy, intimidating. "What is that thing?" Dr. Venus whispered. Commander Jorok swallowed hard. "That," he said, "is the Terran medical ship Hippocrates." The giant vessel descended slowly toward orbit. As it came closer, thousands of small panels on its surface began to open, revealing arrays of machinery, antennae, and robotic drones that launched outward like a swarm of insects. Automated systems scanned the planet below, analyzing the atmosphere, mapping population centers, and locking onto the worst outbreak zones. A voice crackled through the communications system, deep, calm, and unmistakably human. "This is Medical Commander Elias Morgan of the Hippocrates. We are deploying ground teams. Prepare your hospitals to receive the first wave of support." Within minutes, long, narrow dropships began descending from the human vessel. Unlike the elegant shuttlecraft the Zilani were used to, these looked more like armored assault transports. They hit the ground with force and precision, opening immediately to release medical personnel in heavy protective suits, drones carrying supply crates, and mobile labs that unfolded from their transport containers. Dr. Venus rushed to the landing site. What she saw stopped her in her tracks. The human doctors were moving with brutal efficiency. They had already set up a fully functional trauma center in less than 10 minutes. Drones injected diagnostics into patients. Robotic arms performed instant blood scans. Advanced computers hummed as they modeled the plague structure in real time. One of the human doctors removed his helmet and approached her. He looked nothing like what she had expected. Tall, dark-skinned, with sharp eyes and a tired but steady expression. "Dr. Venus?" he asked. "Yes," she said, stunned. "Ah, yes, that's me. I'm Commander Morgan. We've already sequenced the pathogen's genome. It's a synthetic viral agent, engineered, not natural. That's why it keeps changing." "Engineered?" Venus gasped. "Are you saying this was created?" "Yes," Morgan said grimly, "and we've seen something like it before." He handed her a datapad. On it was a molecular diagram of the virus, overlaid with data she didn't recognize. He continued, "This strain is a variant of a bioweapon used in a war we fought 70 years ago. Someone modified it, made it faster, more deadly. But that gives us a head start." "Can you cure it?" Venus asked, barely daring to hope. Morgan didn't answer with words. Instead, he turned and gestured to a portable lab unit. Inside it, robotic arms were already synthesizing vials of something, an antidote, maybe vaccines. "We'll have treatment ready in 24 hours, Morgan said. "Quarantine measures are in place. Full-scale distribution will begin within 48. We're not here to hope, Doctor. We're here to win." Dr. Chen's voice was quiet, but firm. "I wish it were. But the markers are unmistakable: synthetic RNA segments, redundant kill pathways, adaptive mutation coding. This plague wasn't born in nature, it was engineered." Dr. Venus stumbled back a step. The ward around her suddenly felt colder. "But who would do such a thing? We have no enemies. The Zilani have never even fought a war." Chun's face was unreadable behind her face mask. "That may be true, but someone wanted your people to suffer, and they knew exactly how to make it happen." She handed over a data. The screen showed a 3D model of the virus, pulsing with red and yellow highlights, active infection vectors. "This thing was built for speed, for spread, and for silence. It mimics harmless flu strains in early stages, hides from immune response, and then unleashes a cascade failure in every major organ system. Whoever built this knew your biology well." Dr. Venus blinked. "You're saying this was made for us?" "Yes," said Chen, "tailored, and that means the builders, too, had access to detailed genetic data on your species, possibly even medical files from your planetary databases. But our systems are protected," Commander Jorok protested, stepping forward. "No outsider should be able to access them." Chen gave him a look. "With respect, Commander, every major power in the galaxy has cyber units capable of slicing through basic encryption. If your systems weren't locked down by military-grade protocols, then someone got in." A terrible silence filled the room. "We're going to find out who," Dr. Chen continued. "But first, we stop the dying. That's our priority." She turned back to her team. "Begin full viral deconstruction, sequence adaptive mutations, run protein structure models, and prep retroviral counters." "Yes, Doctor," came the coordinated human replies. One of the medtechs pulled a canister from his armored kit, attached it to a scanning station, and began uploading environmental samples. Another deployed a miniature lab on retractable legs, which whirred to life with flashing lights and robotic arms. Dr. Venus could only watch as the humans transformed her overwhelmed ward into a high-efficiency medical war zone. "You said you've seen this kind of thing before," she said hesitantly. Chen nodded. "Once. On a colony world during the Terran expansion wars. It wiped out 3 settlements before we stopped it. Different species, same techniques. That's why we came." "You volunteered," Venus said slowly. "No one else did. Not even the great healing fleets." Dr. Chen glanced through the glass at a young Zilani child gasping in her sleep. Because humans don't turn away from death, she said. We run toward it so we can punch it in the face. Dr. Venus looked at her strangely. What? Chen's eyes crinkled. It's an Earth saying. The two doctors stood together in silence, separated by biology, history, and culture, but united by purpose. The war for the lives of the Zilani had begun, and the humans had just entered the battlefield. Dr. Venus stared at the data scrolling across her display. How is this even possible? She whispered. Dr. Chen's voice came through calmly over the communication channel. Adaptive beam modulation. The lasers are paired with real biometric feedback from each patient. Every beam is guided by AI tuned to Zilani physiology. It adjusts energy, frequency, and focus thousands of times per second. Dr. Venus turned to Commander Jorak, who was just as stunned. This is surgical precision, from orbit. And it's only the second wave, Dr. Chen added. Before Dr. Venus could respond, a new alarm pinged, not one of danger, but of success. A patient's vital signs had stabilized. Then another and another. Across the ward, monitors that had been showing downward spirals were leveling off. Some were even improving. It's working, Dr. Venus said in disbelief. You're stopping the disease. We're slowing it, Chen corrected. The next phase will break it. Just then, another team of humans entered the command center, medics on the ground, delivering more advanced therapies in person. They carried injectors that looked like weapons, but dispensed nanomedicines that would directly repair cellular damage, retrain immune responses, and override the virus's synthetic kill-switches. As the humans moved through the wards with precision and efficiency, Dr. Venus finally allowed herself a moment of hope. Her people, her entire species, might survive. This after all, but one question still burned in her mind. She turned to the nearest human technician. If you can fight this plague like it's a war, how did you ever learn to build all of this? The human gave a tired smile. Because we had to. Earth is a death world. We survived because we made medicine strong enough to match the danger. Dr. Chen reappeared on the main screen. Her tone was still professional, but her eyes were heavy with something deeper, fury barely contained. And now, she said, we need to find out who made this plague, because saving your people is only the beginning. Dr. Venus nodded. Do you think you can trace it? Oh, we will, Dr. Chen said coldly. This was an act of genocide, not a disease. And whoever unleashed this didn't count on humans showing up. A pause. We're not just doctors, Dr. Venus, we're survivors. And we don't forget, Dr. Venus whispered. Dr. Chen heard her question. On Earth, Dr. Chen began, we developed these systems to fight diseases our regular medicine couldn't reach. Sometimes the only way to save a patient is to operate on them from space, using tools that can see and manipulate single cells. The treatment continued for hours. Dr. Venus watched in awe as her people's medical readings changed in ways she had never seen before. The disease that had ravaged her species was being systematically dismantled, not just halted or slowed, but utterly destroyed, and still, the humans were not finished. Phase 2, Immune System Shock Therapy, Dr. Chen announced. From the orbital platforms, new devices emerged and fired beams of energy that somehow reached into the patients' bodies, fortifying their immune systems. Dr. Venus watched, amazed, as her people's natural defenses were transformed into something stronger than ever before. Phase 3, Cellular Regeneration Bombardment, Dr. Chen continued. Now the beams repaired damage the disease had left behind. Failing organs began functioning again. Destroyed tissues were rebuilt from within. Dr. Venus was witnessing not just treatment, but resurrection at a cellular level. Dr. Chen, she said through the communicator, this is incredible, but how did you learn to do this? There was a pause before Dr. Chen answered. Humans spent thousands of years learning how to hurt each other very efficiently. We developed weapons that could destroy everything from armies to single cells, but about a century ago we realized that same knowledge could be used to heal instead of harm. You turned your weapons into medical tools, yes, and more. Healing and harming use the same principles. To cure a disease, you have to attack it. To repair damage, you have to understand it intimately. Our weapons taught us how to build the best medical equipment in the galaxy. Dr. Venus turned to the treatment ward. Her people were reviving, color returned to their skin. The dying were sitting up, talking, even laughing. Phase 4, Preventive Immunization Bombardment, Dr. Chen's team announced. There's more, Dr. Venus asked. We're not just curing this disease, Dr. Chen explained. We're making your people immune to this bioweapon and 17 similar diseases that don't exist yet but could be engineered. Beams fell again. The patient's immune systems were now being prepared for future biological threats. Then came the final phase, environmental sterilization. Dr. Chen announced. The ship's largest weapons activated not to destroy, but to cleanse. The beams passed harmlessly through the planet's atmosphere, seeking and eradicating every microscopic trace of the disease. Treatment complete, Dr. Chen confirmed. Bioweapon eliminated. Your people are cured, immunized. Your environment is clean. Dr. Venus stared at the results. Every reading was normal. The plague was gone as if it had never existed. Dr. Chen, she whispered, you didn't just cure a plague. You won a war. Yes, Dr. Chen replied. In human medicine, we don't just treat diseases, we destroy them. 3 weeks later, Dr. Venus walked the halls of Zella's Prime Medical Center. The despair was gone, replaced by normalcy and hope. Patients were eating, playing, recovering. Children once at death's door now played games on the floor. Dr. Venus found Dr. Chen teaching Zelani doctors how to use scaled-down versions of the orbital systems tools for hospitals, not planets. Dr. Chen, she said, the Federation Council wants to speak with you. Of course, Dr. Chen said, setting down her scanner. But first, you should know we traced the bioweapon's origin. It was made by a species called the Dvorak. They create and sell plagues for profit. This one was designed to kill herbivorous species like yours. Dr. Venus shuddered. Someone paid them to kill us. We're still investigating. But we've identified 37 other bioweapons in their arsenal that threaten many species. We're sharing this with the Galactic Council. At the council chamber, leaders of all 47 Zelani worlds appeared on screen. Dr. Chen, Chancellor Yima said, we thank you, but your methods treating healing like warfare are unlike anything we've ever seen. To understand human medicine, Dr. Chen replied, you must understand our history on Earth. Everything tried to kill us, whether animals, plants, diseases, and even each other. We survived by fighting everything that threatened us. Every threat taught us how to become stronger. So you turned war into medicine. Exactly. About a century ago, we realized the tools we built to destroy could be retooled to preserve life. We turned our deadliest weapons into instruments of healing. Dr. Chen showed a series of images, weapons becoming surgical tools, dreadnoughts becoming hospital ships. The Hippocrates, she said, was built from a decommissioned warship. We believe medical vessels should be the strongest ships in our fleet. When someone calls for help, they deserve our most powerful response. But why does your mission go beyond healing? Another leader asked. Because the Dvorak are still out there, making and selling death. In human medicine, we don't consider a disease cured until its source is eliminated. The chamber fell. Silent. The Hippocrates, Dr. Chen continued, is still a warship. The same systems that cured your people can return to their original use. We've located the Dvorak homeworld. In the coming months, they will no longer be a threat. You're going to attack them. We're going to cure the galaxy of a plague. They are a disease, and we are the medicine, the Zelani Council expressed their pacifism, but Dr. Chen was respectful. You don't have to fight, but others will never face what you faced. She turned to Dr. Venus. We've left you tools, training, and communication devices. If you ever need us again, call someone. We'll answer. As she boarded the shuttle, Dr. Venus said, thank you for showing us that medicine and warfare can serve the same purpose. Thank you for letting us help, Dr. Chen replied. Remember, others will fight for life as fiercely as warriors fight for victory. The Hippocrates vanished into the stars, leaving a healed world behind. And Dr. Venus finally understood. The humans hadn't abandoned war. They had simply redirected it against death itself.